Anjali once saw her boyfriend Rahul get a notice for a debt she wasn't aware of. She tried to ask him about it, but he dismissed it, saying it was so insignificant that he forgot to tell her about it and that it was no biggie. Anjali's gut instinct told her that there may be more to the story, but she let it go. Now, relationships can be loving and nurturing. If sometimes you feel incomplete in your life, a partner can make you feel a bit more fulfilled. Finding someone who's right for you can be tough but rewarding. And sure, it's great to be compatible and finish each other's sentences and sandwiches. But what about an elephant in the room that you may not discuss or mention? Have you ever thought about whether you're financially compatible with your partner? Because you can be unpleasantly surprised to learn things about a person you think you knew. Because if you may not be financially compatible, are you sure that there are no red flags when it comes to your partner's financial behavior? Because if there are some red flags, it may cause a breeding ground for financial abuse in the future. So, what are red flags? They are warning signs of potentially dangerous, unhealthy, and destructive behavior. So, here are some patterns which you shouldn't be totally cool with. Number 1, your partner lies about financial matters. A prominent TV doctor, Dr. House, once said that the most successful relationships are built on lies. But is he really the person you'd consult for relationship advice? Unfortunately, dishonesty tends to hurt relationships. There's nothing fruitful that would come out of it in the long run. And people usually lie about money. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's embarrassment, maybe it's insecurity. But if you often encounter a "why do we have to talk about this?" or "not now, maybe later," it shows that your partner may not wish to be transparent. Or maybe people have just been groomed to lie through their teeth when it comes to their finances. But it's still a lie nonetheless. When key information is hidden, can you really be in a successful relationship? Anytime you catch your partner not disclosing how much money they make or how much they spend on something, or changing the topic when they're talking about how much debt they have, sound the distress alarm. To be fair, there isn't really anything wrong with maintaining your own financial plans. In fact, when about to marry, some folks may go for prenups, but hiding transactions or activities may reflect a lack of trust, because getting defensive when talking about financial issues reflects a bigger issue. If they would rather be in denial when talking about the state of their financial well-being, that may not be what you should have to deal with. Number 2, your partner takes more than they give. Sometimes you may not realize it, but your partner may be leeching off you. Do you somehow end up paying all the bills when it comes to a purchase? Is it your credit card that's being used to purchase that item off Amazon? Maybe your partner often asks, "Hey, I don't know how, but I'm short of money. Can you lend me some?" Now, to be fair, people have had their bad days and sometimes they're taking one down. But if they're constantly borrowing from their friends, family, and you, that shows a level of dependency that's dangerous and irresponsible. Number 3, your partner doesn't really do well with money. Does your partner always seem to pay their bills late? Do they seem to overspend when that's not necessary? Do you frequently get calls from them asking you to send some money through UPI? All of that may suggest a lack of personal and financial accountability. Now, some degree of financial discipline is important. People in relationships may end up co-signing on bills. If your partner doesn't uphold their end of the bargain, you may be caught in the crosshairs and your creditworthiness could be compromised. If your partner has excessive debt and does not contribute to shared expenses, it may be a sign of what's to come. You may even feel the need to eliminate their debt at the expense of your own financial goals. When it comes to repaying loans as co-signers, you're depending on your partner to deal with their bad credit. Is that an outcome you both wish to stake your future on? Especially you? This hurts both of you financially as well, as it means that something's eating into your expenses, leaving y'all with less. Number 4, your partner may be too controlling with their money. If you're pooling your resources together and they try to control your money and how much you can use, that's not a good sign. Sure, it's sometimes good to have someone take charge when it comes to handling financial matters, but most of the time, if you're a team, then your partner should play like a team player. Even in the most passionate relationship, you should be able to have a say in how your collective resources are to be allocated. If your partner makes unilateral decisions when it comes to money, that could be concerning. So there need to be discussions about finance and money. Being open about it is integral, and there have to be discussions about handling financial issues without any malice or disrespect. Number 5, your partner does not think long term. Maybe financially it's all immaculate. They have no debt, their credit is awesome, and they have a stable job that pays great. But do they think about the future? Are they saving for retirement? And do they have an emergency fund? Do they tend to overspend and splurge when not needed? Are they living paycheck to paycheck? Do they have a devil may care attitude when it comes to their finances? The present may be a life of paradise. But what about tomorrow? Some people care too much about appearances. They buy that expensive phone irrespective of the cost, those designer clothes without a second thought, and that posh car without looking at the price tag. That obsession with looking wealthy creates incalculable debt and also means that any wealth they create goes into repaying that debt. If your partner doesn't have to answer for that and doesn't think long term, that may be a bad sign. So, maintaining that image and caring too much about one's financial appearance creates financial strain. Now, these are some financial flags that are red, but there may be more. Healthy relationships are built on communication, mutual respect, and trust. Does that sound like your relationship? Having said that, it doesn't mean that you mandatorily have to break up with them just because of these red flags. Maybe it's salvageable, maybe it's not. Do you know someone in a relationship with financial red flags? Are you in one? Is that going to change?